invitation to this PechaKucha experience. So I'm Peatónito, the Mexican wrestler, activist, and defender of the pedestrians in Mexico City. And my mission in the next 6.6 minutes is to pass on the huge importance of building a city for the people and not for the cars. Because walking in my city is like an extreme sport. We have built a city like if we are all parkour professionals. So Urbanism 101. This is the pyramid of the sustainable mobility. In the top we have the kings of the city, the pedestrians and the handicaps. Then we have the cyclists. Then there are the users of the public transportation, and the bottom with the less priority, the cars. All avant-garde urbanists agreed with this hierarchy, but in the practice we all live in the upside down world. In the last decade we have done all the opposite. We have destroyed public spaces in order to build more parking spaces or urban highways. And in the meanwhile, our sidewalks are full of obstacles, or in some cases, we don't even have sidewalks. What we have done that our cities are not liable for the children. Here's my grandma. She's trying to walk, but she can't, because there's a van parked in the sidewalk. That's illegal, but in Mexico City, there's not enforcement of the law. There are thousands of cars parked in the sidewalk all over the city, and nobody do anything about it. That's real dangerous, because my grandma has to walk in the road. The lack of road culture, the lack of infrastructure, and the lack of law enforcement is killing us. One pedestrian dies per day in my city, more than 500 per year. That means that today a pedestrian will die. And even worse, in order to apply for your driver license, you just need to pay $60 without any exam. So with just $60, you can have a license to kill. That's why I decided to go out on the streets, masked like a vigilante who protects the pedestrians through the chaotic streets of Mexico City. For example, in this picture, we can observe how the policeman is not doing anything about it, and I'm pushing the car in order to release the pedestrian crosswalk. So we have to sensitize the transit police because they don't even know the transit law. They have orders to maximize the speed of the motorized vehicles instead of protecting the pedestrians as our transit law specify. I talked with them, and they don't know that in the first article, it specifies that the pedestrian has a priority. Here, a group of organized neighborhoods invite me to protest against the cars parked on the sidewalk. So in this manifestation, we painted a crosswalk, and we also called a tow truck in order to take away all the cars in the sidewalk. And nowadays, in this neighborhood, any car dare to park in the pedestrian zones. I also report the obstacles in the sidewalk, like these potholes in one of the main streets of Mexico City. The story is that one day the government invited me to give a talk in a public event, and all the media were there. So I reported this pothole in front of everyone, and the other day the government fixed it. Here I am with my friend Super Barrio. He's the luchador of those who were kicked out of their homes. So he helped me to paint this pedestrian crosswalk in order to make a statement that the pedestrian has the priority in the road. And then the mayor of the city, Miguel Ángel Macera, copied us. That means that we've already won the agenda. The next step is the budget, because in the last years the government have done a good work pedestrianizing some streets, but they keep expending millions of dollars building urban highways that only induce more people to use their cars. This is another example. Here we are in the most important avenue in the whole country, and there's not a sidewalk. We can observe the lady with the stroller in danger. Therefore, I decided to paint a sidewalk, and then 1 year later, the government built the sidewalk. Then I realized that we are not alone in this world. He's my Ecuadorian friend, Capitan Zapato or Capitan Shu, and his Zapatista Liberation Army of the Sidewalk. And like him, there's pedestrian advocacy movements all over the world, and all over Mexico also. This is an amazing story that inspired me. The former mayor of Bogotá, Antanas Mocus, fired all the corrupted transit police and hired mimes in order to control the traffic. The outcome of this wonderful policy was a dramatic drop of the road accidents and fatalities. These are our demands. In this image, we can distinguish a safe pedestrian intersection. There are pedestrian crosswalks, wide sidewalks without obstacles, street lights, and we can perceive how George, John, Paul, and Ringo are crossing the street calm without any problem. But this doesn't happen in Mexico City. As I told you, walking in Mexico City is like an extreme sport and you need to run for your life. Dealing with narrow sidewalks, full of obstacles like cars, potholes, vendors, cyclists, and everything you can imagine. I estimate that 90% of the intersections in my city, there's not a crosswalk painted. And it's also a cultural matter, a matter of mentality. We would like to change the paradigm and make walking cool and sexy activity. Because not long ago, biking started to be the coolest way of urban transportation. But why not walking also? In the end, pedestrians and cyclists united, we are the non-motorized revolution. This is an invitation to a worldwide event called Parking Day, whose aim is to reclaim the public space for people. It takes place the third week of September, celebrating the car-free day, so citizens transform metered parking spots into temporary public spaces. To end up with this talk, I would like you to think about this revolutionary idea by the former mayor of Bogotá, Enrique Peñalosa. Why not reserve half of the streets of our cities exclusive for pedestrians and cyclists? In my city, only 20% of the population commute by car, so this policy will be democracy expressed in the streets. So I would like to finish with a quote of Peñalosa. Just like the fishes swim and the birds fly, the human being walk, not for necessity, but in order to be happy. Thanks for everything and welcome to the pedestrian revolution and the lucha libre for the right to walk.